Welcome everybody to look at a new 4K release from StudioCanal via their Vintage Classics line, and it is 1945's Dead of Night. So this is directed by several directors, as it is a horror anthology film with supernatural elements on top. So we've got the likes of Alberto Cavalcanti, who also did the likes of They Made Me a Fugitive, Charles Crichton, who I've seen 4 other films from, favourites of him being A Fish Called Wanda, Basil Dearden, who I've seen 9 other films from, favourites from him being the likes of Legal Gentleman, and finally Robert Hamer, who also did It Always Rains on Sunday. So yeah, this is clocks in at 103 minutes long, stars the likes of Mervyn Johns, who was in The Bells Go Down, Roland Culver, who was in The Ship That Died of Shame, Mary Morale, who was in They Made Me a Fugitive, and Googie Withers, who was in Night in the City, which is a fantastic film noir, as well as It Always Rains on Sunday. So, while seeking some architectural work at a country farmhouse, Walter Craig soon finds himself once again stuck in his recurring nightmare. He's forced to listen to the bizarre tales of each guest while dreading the terrible end he knows is coming. So, there's a linking story that is directed by Basil Dearden, so that's the beginning part, the parts in between each of the 5 stories, and then the ending. So he directs the linking part. He also directs the first story called The Hearse Driver. So after an accident, recovering race car driver Hugh Granger has a mysterious vision that may hint to a future calamity involving himself. So it's not particularly long, so therefore it's not all that fleshed out, but it is a really very well executed effort that sets the tone of the rest of the film. So yeah, it's a really good one, that part. So I'm going to give that 3.5 out of 5. And I'm going to review each of the stories and then the overall film itself. Then we've got The Christmas Party. This is directed by Alberto Cavalcanti. So teenager Sally O'Hara tells of a fright she got during the previous year's holidays while she was staying at a large old country house which has an evil history. 85 years before, a young boy was murdered there by his jealous sister. So unfortunately, even though The Hearse Driver was also a little bit on the rough side, it still had a well executed conclusion, whereas this is not only just rushed, but it's also feels like it just can't wait to end, because it kind of hints at the whole ending anyway. So it feels like they just wanted to get it over and done with as quickly as possible because they figured how people would understand what the ending was going to be anyway. So yeah, it just feels a little bit rushed. It's not particularly scary, and yeah, it's not got an overly satisfying conclusion either. So yeah, it's a 3 out of 5 for that one. Then we've got The Haunted Mirror. So this is directed by Robert Hamer. So yeah, Joan Cortland relates some almost fatal disaster that ensued when she bought her fiance Peter an antique mirror for a birthday present. He's delighted with the gift, but before long, whenever he looks at it, he sees a completely different room reflected in its glass and starts to lose his grip on reality. So yeah, this is highly engaging. This one is really well done, especially in terms of the production of the mirror showing a different room to the one that he's actually in. I imagine in terms of the camera work, to eliminate the idea, the fact that the camera would be in the mirror, it would have been shot from far away and then zoomed in. But regardless, yeah, really well done. The cast is great. It's got a good deal of tension to it. The build up of dread is really effective, and the way it concludes is solid as well. So that's a 4 out of 5 for that one. Then we've got The Golfer Story. So this is directed by Charles Crichton. So yeah, two golfing buddies play around to determine who gets the girl they both love. Upon losing, Larry Potter commits suicide by calmly walking into a lake just off the 18th green. As earlier, the two of them had agreed that the loser would disappear forever, but quickly comes back as a ghost when he discovers that his buddy Basil had cheated. So yeah, this is an attempt at comedy. Really, it's more comedy than horror. Yes, it's got a ghost in it, but yeah, it's not scary at all. Some of the humour does work, but it's not particularly got any real likable characters in it. There's a couple of laughs, but yeah, the whole idea that they're playing for a girl is not entirely believable at all, and that never mind the fact that she's totally fine with it, which I just don't really believe whatsoever. And then the idea that ghosts apparently know when someone's cheating or not and such like that, it's just really rather quite convoluted, to be honest. It is obviously a little bit more fleshed out than The Christmas Party, and obviously there are a couple of laughs, but yeah, it's just not entirely well done. And considering what the story that came before it it just feels like a completely toothless effort. So yeah, it's going to get a 3 out of 5, but only just. And then finally, we have the best of the bunch. We have the Ventriloquist Dummy. So this is also directed by Alberto Cavalcanti. So yeah, and it's certainly better than the Christmas Party that he also did. So ventriloquist Maxwell Freer and his dummy Hugo are a hit act in Paris, but when an American ventriloquist, Sylvester Key, drops in to see the act, there is more than meets the eye regarding who is really in control of the act itself. So yeah, this quite frankly set the trend for all other kind of haunted dolls or possessed dolls or anything like that. Obviously, because this is well before something like Magic, I think it was called, with Anthony Hopkins, and then obviously well precedes likes of Dolls or Annabelle or anything like that. So yeah, it's not only a trendsetter in that regard, but it's also extremely well done, as it also stars the likes of Michael Redgrave, who yeah is excellent in the leading role, and then it's also really rather effective at depicting the ventriloquism, the doll itself talking, and yeah, the voice that the doll has as well is really good. And yeah, it's engaging. It's got a good build up of tension, and the ending is absolutely fantastic. A really good conclusion to the ending, which is certainly the best ending of any of the 5 stories. And yeah, overall, really, really well done. I'm not going to spoil the ending for the overarching story itself, because obviously it's not just about the 5 stories that are being told. But yeah, the ending to the Ventriloquist Dummy is by far the best of the bunch, and it easily gets 4.5 out of 5. I'd have loved to have seen a full blown film of that with Michael Redgrave in the lead role. But still, excellent story, and like I said, the best of the bunch, which is not a controversial opinion. Many people consider it to be the best of the 5, and yeah, can entirely see why. And yeah, in terms of the film itself, the cast is also really good in general in each of the stories. The 4 directors all do a solid enough job in their role. It is well paced, the cinematography is on point, the production is well done, and it is an engrossing effort throughout. And overall, the film gets a 4 out of 5. Yes, the Christmas Party and Golfer Story are the weak links in this, but the other 3 more than make up for those elements. And then the linking story itself also is really, really good. It's much stronger than other anthology horror films that have an a wraparound plot or a linking story. So yeah, the film overall gets 4 out of 5. 4 out of 5, and generally it is obviously also a innovator as a horror anthology film, which I don't believe had been done before now, or before this. And yeah, quite frankly, the fact it was able to set the template so effectively right off the bat is just shows how influential it was. Because obviously many a anthology horror film would have an interlinking story, or generally the same characters in that story that are also in each individual story itself. So yeah, you only have to look at the Amicus Productions ones from the 60s and 70s to see the same kind of format that would be used. So yeah, got nice new artwork on this hardbox release. Like I said, it is in 4K, and it looks and sounds really, really good. Not the best black and white film from the 40s I've seen in 4K, but still fairly solid overall. Then we've got the case itself, which isn't a hard case. It's paper with the plastic on the inside, as we've seen many a time before. So yeah. And inside we've got the Blu-ray and the 4K. 4K Blu-ray. We also have a booklet with this release as well. It's a collector's edition booklet, so you're only going to get this with this release overall. And it's got the same artwork that we've seen already on the front. And inside you get your cast and your crew. Then we also get Dead of Night, Must Be Real This Time by David Parkinson. And then obviously shots from the film itself throughout as well. So there's the shot from the ventriloquist dummy. And then we also get I've Been Here Before, Dead of Night, 1945, Ghost Story Tradition, and the Horror Anthology by Kat Ellinger. So there's more shots from the film. Then we get That Apparition of Death, War as Shared Nightmare in Dead of Night by Peter Rayleigh. So obviously this also came out not long after the end of World War II, or right near the end of World War II. So yeah, you can kind of see why it went in the direction it went with its stories, because with of the population already experience the horror of war. So where do you go from there in terms of depicting horror? And therefore, obviously, you have to go a little bit more supernatural in that regard. Then you got Talk to the Dummy on horror's fascination with bringing dolls to life by Anna Bogoskaya. So yeah, obviously dolls have many a time appeared in horror films, as I mentioned earlier. So yeah, shots from the film, from the final film in that write up as well, which I won't show you because it will kind of spoil it. Then we also get two single-sided, quite large posters as well, with the new artwork on one of them, but really rather nice looking original artwork on another, and they're on nice thick paper as well. So I love that artwork. It's absolutely superb. I love the use of the choice of colours, and then obviously you got the big wing bat there. Obviously that does not appear in the film, but then you get the long list of cast as well and such and such. So yeah, fantastic artwork that one, and I'll definitely be putting that up at some point. And then we get the new artwork on the other poster as well, which I'll just quickly show you. Or obviously you've already seen it, but it's nice to have it a little bit bigger than normal. It's still really nice new artwork. I like it. No doubt about that, but kind of prefer the other one because it looks like a kind of a painting, quite frankly, that just so happens to have a film title on it with cast as well. So, in terms of special features, we've got a new Dead of Night Dreams and Duality with Alice Lowe, new Marketing Galore, The Art of Ealing with Natalie Morris. So, this was actually produced by Ealing Studios, who are obviously more well known for their comedies from the 50s and the 60s, you know, with lots of Peter Sellers and such. So, yeah, but then you got audio commentary by critic and film historian Pamela Hutchinson, short, sharp screams, Dead of Night and the British Horror Anthology, interview with author John Llewellyn Probert, Scoring the Night on Georges Ulrich and Dead of Night, interview with author Dr. David Huckvale, Remembering Dead of Night Futurette, and then the behind the scenes stills gallery as well. So unfortunately, it doesn't say anything about the kind of restoration work that this has had, like a lot of Blu-ray boutique labels would do. But like I said, it still looks really rather good. It's 2160p UHD resolution. It's in the 137:1 aspect ratio, and it's got LPCM 2.0 mono audio as well. So yeah, and it's being 4K, it is obviously region free as well. So yeah, overall, a really, really good film. 4 out of 5. Really did set the template for the anthology film, so that in of itself is more than worthwhile. But the fact that 3 of the 5 stories and the interlinking story itself as well are all at least 3.5 out of 5, if not more, means that it's, yeah, definitely one of the more consistent anthology films out there that I've seen, especially within the horror genre. So yeah, perfect release for this time of year, obviously. But nonetheless, if you have seen this film before, I'd like to hear your thoughts on it. But thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.